Did you guys hear that little turbo? That little turbo whir? It's gotten predominantly louder in the truck since I've had it. If you didn't know, this is a 2024 Toyota Tacoma, and it is a Turbo 4, and I'm digging it. You can hear the turbo whir. I like that. Pretty cool. Anyway, let's talk about some things that you might not be expecting when you get the 2024 Toyota Tacoma. We're going to start off with the elephant in the room, and that is the discontent of third-gen owners that for some reason are heavily biased against the fourth-generation Tacoma. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're just so personally attached that they feel betrayed because it doesn't have a V6 anymore. It's not naturally aspirated like it always has been. Or what? It's just crazy to me. Maybe it's because they really deep down don't want to admit that it's better and it makes them feel inadequate and they want one. I don't know what it is. It's the craziest thing. I mean, I still love the third gen. I don't have anything against the third generation folks because I've bought a fourth gen. I may have another third gen someday. Who knows? I love the truck. But anyway, that's the first thing. Now, more geared towards the truck itself, I guess. First is if you have manual seats. Now, I've talked about this before, so I'm not going to belabor it. But when you get in and out, if you're like me, your rear end is going to scoot across that lever over there that raises and lowers the seat. Because Toyota put it too close to the top of the seat, in my opinion. That means every time you get in and out, you're going to lower the seat a notch. And, let's say you're running some errands and you're going to 2 or 3 different stores. I mean, that's 12 notches. 12 lowerings, right? In, out, in, out, in, out. Well, actually, it would be 6, not 12, unless you're going to 8 places. But anyway, it's noticeable. You're going to notice that the seat is strangely getting lower. And when I first got the truck, I thought maybe there was something wrong with the mechanism, that it just wasn't latching and holding correctly, right? And then I figured it out. It's because my rear end is sliding across that lever every time I get in and out of the truck. I don't know how you avoid it. Maybe if you're 6'5", I don't know. Maybe if you have side steps and you crawl up into the truck. You see, I'm kind of at that gray area for me. I don't need side steps to get in and out of the truck. My truck is raised, and even that way, raised in the front. I still don't need them. So they'd be more of a hindrance than a help for me. But that means I kind of slide in and out of the seat. So I don't know. That's number 2, I guess. Number 3, if you have the Sport particularly, I've heard that the off-road does not do this, the TRD off-road or any version or model of the Tacoma that doesn't have the hood scoop. And that is the constantly moving hood. The hood bounces around. When you're driving down the road and it's windy, you can see it moving. It catches your eye. And I think the reason it catches your eye, well, there's 2 reasons. 1, it's right in front of your face. I mean, it's right there, right? But 2 is because it's not supposed to do that. I mean, typically when you have a vehicle, the hood doesn't move around. If it does, it would usually mean there's some sort of a problem, right? It's not latched properly or something's wrong. And the reason it does it, I think, it is a thinner material. It is an aluminum hood. It's not steel anymore. Thank God. Those old third-gen hoods, they weighed 10 tons, right? I like that. I like that it's lighter. It makes it easier on the hood struts that I have because I don't actually have to lift it myself. Not that I couldn't, but, it's because Toyota didn't brace it properly underneath. It doesn't have enough structure under the hood. There was that turbo whir again. But it doesn't have enough structure under the hood to make it rigid enough so it doesn't do that. And I'm sure that's something that Toyota is going to improve upon. I don't think they're going to go back to a steel hood. There's no way they're going to do that. But I do think they'll add more bracing under the hood. Matter of fact, the next time I'm at a dealer or something, I should take a look and see if Toyota has done that already. Because that's kind of a manufacturing change, I think, that they could make mid-cycle. It's not something that you have to have a refresh on, I don't believe. Where are we? Number 3, I think it is. Auto stop, depending on what trim level you have. If you have a manual transmission, you don't have auto stop. And I think, I'm not positive on this, but if you have a Trail Hunter or a Pro, I don't think they have auto stop either, although I might be wrong. They may have it as well. On mine, which is the Sport, actually I think they don't have it on the TRD off-road either. But on the Sport, my version, lucky me, I bought the version that has auto stop. And if you watch my videos, then you know I am not a big auto stop fan. If you're not familiar with auto stop, what that is when you stop the vehicle, it automatically shuts off. If it can. In other words, if the battery's charged enough, if the air conditioner's not running like mad, it won't kick in if those things don't happen. Also, if you don't depress the brake hard enough, it won't work either. And you'll even get a message on the screen that says you need to push the brake harder or something like that to engage auto stop. Now, I will give credit to Toyota for at least having that component as a part of the brake, so that if you get used to it and you gauge it right, it'll never kick on. But I always hit the button when I can remember. And it's very frustrating for me when I don't remember. Not a big reason, really, because who cares? It's not difficult to push a button, right? It's just one of those little kind of pet peevey kind of things that I'm like, oh man, that damn auto stop's kicked in again. I don't know. Next up, we'll call it number 4, number 5, I don't know. You're not going to be a hyper miler. You're not going to get 30, 40 miles per gallon. Matter of fact, you're only going to get, if you drive like I do anyway, I've heard some extremes out there, people that have said they're getting, mid-20s to 30 miles per gallon. I don't know how they're doing that unless they're going down a hill. Maybe they live in a hilly area or something, and they're always going downhill on the other side. But I get, right now, 17 point some odd miles per gallon. Now, that is about 2 or 3 miles per gallon better than what I was getting in my 3rd gen, but it's certainly not some huge mileage increase. So if you think that by buying the 2024 Toyota Tacoma, you're somehow going to save gas, I mean, you're going to save a little. You get a better, or you get 3 miles per gallon better, whatever it is, but you're certainly not going to save enough to justify buying a new truck, that's for sure. As far as mods and things, I'll throw this in as number 6 or 5 or wherever we're at. The market is starting to catch up, but nonetheless, there are still fewer out there than what's available or what we've been used to with the 3rd gen. Now, I say they're catching up because they are way more current than they were when I first got this truck. But there are some things that you may want to get that you're not going to be able to get because they're simply not available for the 4th gen yet. However, I am confident that the market's going to be just as strong aftermarket stuff as it's always been for the 3rd gen. Anyway, those are just a few things that you may not be expecting with the 4th generation Tacoma. Leave a comment. Let me know if you've bought one. Is there anything you found out after the fact that you weren't expecting? I'd just be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.